Welcome back to the channel. This is the second game in the linked campaign. You can watch the video for the first battle on League of Augsburg TV. A quick recap. The Marquis de Rosel rebuffed Charles Churchill's attempt to seize the road junction. Regiment Clare was upgraded to veteran. Units which broke and ran in Game 1 have suffered some desertions. We're 2 weeks on from Game 1 and Churchill's foraging parties are gathering in much needed fodder from the Bavarian countryside. De Rosel's scouts have been observing from a distance and he orders an attack in strength to capture the precious supplies. Although the foragers appear to be protected by only 2 detachments of commanded shot, lying in wait in the forests behind are hundreds of infantry in prepared positions. Beyond the tree line, crack cavalry of the Imperial Army await orders to attack. This game is an expanded 4-play scenario, 8 units per side, 8 game turns using a 4x4 feet table. We're introducing commander ratings, order allowance and other elements omitted from Game 1. Right, let's get to it. Turn 1. The forage train was going to be unable to move until turn 8, leaving Churchill with the challenge of defending it in situ. The light gun will need all 7 of its rounds of ammunition. De Rosel's order allowance score was a disastrous one, meaning no movement. The Franco-Bavarians stay rooted to the spot and Churchill holds his nerve. Activity this turn was restricted to an ineffective round from the gun targeting Dragon Fumaçon at extreme range and missing. Turn 2. All Franco-Bavarian units receive move orders and the force trundles forward in unison. Churchill, after some cogitation, decides to stay put and let his pickets soak up the initial enemy thrusts. The gun switches target as Regiment Clare's column moves up the road. Despite the closer, more appealing target, this shot also misses its mark, even after misses are rethrown because Clare's regiment is in column. The Prussian musketeers and the steading have defend orders, which provides an additional shooting die. They fire upon Regiment Clare, scoring 1 hit from their rethrows. Column target allows the rethrow of misses. Dragon Lorraine, keen to salvage reputation after the previous engagement, cause a casualty on the Prussians despite having to rethrow both hits because of the hard cover effect. Turn 3. The concealed troops remain unseen. De Rosel is again beset by command paralysis. No movement leaves several units vulnerable, chiefly the static column of Clare's regiment, which is under fire from both the cannon and the Prussians. Churchill achieved 1/4 order allowance and gave serious consideration to 3 options: retiring his Hessian musketeers back to the tree line, bringing cavalry through the woods and into the open on the enemy right, springing his infantry from their concealment. His decision was to sit tight and await the enemy. That way, he could win the engagement with minimal loss if De Rosel simply runs out of time. In the artillery phase, the gun again misses the tantalising column target of Irish soldiers, but the dead-eye Prussian musketeers cause 2 losses to Regiment Clare. Turn 4. De Rosel remarkably throws yet another 1 for order allowance, which means no movement. It's not possible to experience 2 consecutive turns without orders, and De Rosel is given quarter allowance, which means 2 units can be activated. Despite achieving maximum order allowance, Churchill chews his bottom lip for a minute or so, then decides to remain in position. De Rosel needs to make something happen. He orders the elite cavalry of Regiment de Condé to charge the Hessian pickets. Despite a wobbly raw score of 2, bonuses for being elite, under command, supported and within command distance of the Supreme Commander make the total up to 6. They trot forward. The Hessian veterans easily pass their check to remain steady, and the stand and fire check is a devastating volley. The musketeers score 1 hit, but the horse continue undeterred by passing the charge home check. The only other order available to De Rosel was used to deploy Regiment Clare into line to minimise vulnerability from both artillery and musketry fire. The gun shoots wide of the target yet again. The Irish take another casualty from the Prussian musketeers, who themselves have a lucky escape as 2 accurate dice from Dragon Lorraine turn into misses during the rethrow for hard cover effect. Regiment de Condé is drilled and blade horse. It has 2 stands, each giving a die. In combat, this total is doubled and the die type moved up from D8 to D10. The to-hit score for Blade Horse is 5+. The Hessian Musketeers are loose order foot and receive a single D10 because they're veteran. The Horse throw 4 D10 scoring hits on 5+. The Foot 1 D10 scoring hits on 6+. The Hessians go down fighting. They cause 1 casualty and lose 3. The morale check gives a net score of 0, which is a rout. Foot cannot escape Horse in a melee. The Hessians are cut down on the spot. The cavalry hold position. Turn 5. The ambush remains undetected. Both sides receive half order allowance. Churchill's only activation is given to his own regiment, which moves in column towards the open space between the two woods. De Rosel orders Regiment de Condé to form facing the forage part. Dragon Fimarson advance. Regiment Clare has reached minimum separation distance with the Prussians and does not move. The same situation faces Dragon Lorraine, who form into march column to navigate around the farm. The miserable run of misses continues for the light gun, which is burning up ammunition to no purpose. The Prussian fire on Regiment Clare is ineffective, but the Irish veterans shred the musketeers with their first fire using 3d12. Even after rethrowing all the hits, they succeed in causing 3 casualties. This disorders the single remaining Prussian musketeer and causes a morale check. Despite these travails, he stands steady and in position. The final shooting of the turn is from the Imperial Grenadiers concealed on Churchill's right. They open fire on the reforming cavalry of Regiment de Condé. 1 casualty is enough to reduce the unit to 50% strength. Horse under fire and taking losses must check morale. Regiment de Condé fails the check and retires from fire, disordered. Turn 6. Churchill suffers his first command paralysis throw this turn and has no orders. De Rosel gets 3 quarters, which means 6 units can receive orders from the total of 8. Despite heightened suspicions among de Rosel's officers, the concealed troops on the Allied left remain undiscovered. All Franco-Bavarian units except de Condé, which suffered a compulsory retreat, and Regiment Clare, which continues to engage the Prussians in the farm, receive orders. The incompetent light gun fails to hit the advancing Fimarson dragoons, making it 6 consecutive misses on different targets. Regiment Clare finally silences the gallant Prussian defenders in the farm, but not before the Irish take 2 more casualties and are reduced in strength by 1/3. Churchill orders the hidden Danes of Regiment Prince George to open fire on the march column of Dragon Lorraine. The dragoon unit is reduced by more than 1/4 of its strength in a single turn. It's disordered, surprised by an ambush, and has now 1/3 casualties from its original strength of 8 models. In the morale phase, Lorraine throw a disastrous 1. Modifiers cannot save it, and the regiment dissolve with cries of "Chacun pour soi." Turn 7. Churchill's ambush has worked very well on both flanks. The German pickets performed with gallantry despite their fate. The Franco-Bavarian infantry is not well positioned because of several poor command throws by de Rosel. It also appears that the forage wagon train will soon be ready to move off to safety. De Rosel achieves 3/4 order allowance, and Churchill can activate everything if desired. The light gun expends its final round of ammunition at point-blank range against Dragon Fimarson. This triples the number of dice, giving it 6d8. It finally makes its presence count by scoring 2 hits on the dragoons and forcing a morale check. A raw score of 2 and insufficient positive modifiers compel the dragoons to fall back in disorder. Churchill has ordered up Kusani's cuirassiers to prevent any breakthrough against the forage train. It does not, however, appear that any Franco-Bavarian unit will come close to threatening the precious supplies. Turn 8. Both commanders roll up 3/4 movement. The last chance for de Rosel to achieve anything substantial is a charge by Regiment Montmartre against the light gun, which has been manhandled out of position to allow Churchill's regiment to cover the withdrawal of the forage train. The cavalry fails to charge with a dismal throw of 1. The only other significant movement is a foolhardy advance in column by the inexperienced Regiment Bassigny, led by its brigadier. It marches into murder range under the muzzles of the Imperial Grenadiers, holding the woods on Churchill's right. Bravely the recruits bear up, only to be volleyed and lose 3 models. Not enough for a morale check. The battle is over. Churchill has his revanche. His ambush worked perfectly, and the valuable forage train withdrew despite having to remain under threat for the entire 8 turns of the game. His cavalry remained uncommitted, which avoids any awkward discussions with Prince Eugen's staff later. His own brigade, so roughly handled by de Rosel in the last action, suffered not a single casualty, although the seconded German pickets, which did most of the fighting, were wiped out. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.